So, there was once a very successful farmer from Texas who started gaining interest in his ancestry. After doing some digging, he traced his lineage back to a small town in Ireland, and lo and behold, they were a family of farmers. So, he packed his bags and took a trip to Ireland to visit the small town to see if he could track down some of his kin. After landing in Dublin and driving an hour outside of the city, he stopped in a pub to grab a drink and start asking around about his family. The Texan sat down, ordered a pint, and started talking to the Irishman sitting at the bar. After explaining his story and the purpose of the trip, the Irishman responded, "You don't say. I've never heard of your family, but I'm a farmer as well. Tell me, what's it like farming in Texas?" "Gladly," the Texan said. "Farming in Texas has been quite lucrative for me. If you started out in the morning and drove west, you could drive all day before you reached the end of my property. And if you started the next day and drove east all day, you wouldn't reach the end of my property. Same thing north and south. You could drive either direction all day and you wouldn't reach the end of my farmland." I know what you mean," said the Irishman. "I've got a tractor like that as well." A preacher wanted to raise money for his church and, being told there were fortunes in racehorses, he decided to purchase one and enter it in the races. However, at the local auction, the going price for horses was so steep, he ended up buying a donkey instead. He figured that since he had it, he might as well go ahead and enter it in the races, and to his surprise, the donkey came in third. The next day, the racing sheets carried the headlines, "Preacher's Ass Shows." The preacher was so pleased with the donkey that he entered it in the races again, and this time he won. The paper said, "Preacher's ass out in front." The bishop was so upset with this kind of publicity that he ordered the preacher not to enter the donkey in another race. The newspaper printed this headline, "Bishop scratches preacher's ass." This was just too much for the bishop, and he ordered the preacher to get rid of the animal. The preacher decided to give it to a nun in a nearby convent. The headlines the next day read, "Nun has the best ass in town." The bishop fainted. He informed the nun that she would have to dispose of the donkey, and she finally found a farmer who was willing to buy it for $10. The paper states, "Nun peddles ass for $10. They buried the bishop the next day.